Hello, everybody. Hey, it's Ken Faulkner. Trying to get a knife video for you guys. I'm a little bit late on this one. Faulkner 5. Um, so I did have the giveaway video. Ramsey silent, and I was so glad he was deeply active in the Unprofessional Dad's big giveaway video over the weekend. If you missed out on that, that was something else. I had never seen anything like it. That was over 40 knives, I think. And I won one of them, too. I was super happy about that. It's a Rough Rider. I haven't gotten a Rough Rider in a long time. I was excited about it. So, just waiting for that one to come in. I might get it before Blade Show. Who knows? Faulkner 5, I'm not supposed to be getting anything in. But if I win something, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? Also, New Breed EDC sent out an email saying there's some movement on that big, long-lasting pre-order for the Wingspan. So I don't have my hopes up that that'll be before Blade Show. We'll see. Also, there's like a little pass around thing going on, and I was looking at the list. This is the first time I've ever done a pass around, and I was looking at the list, and I'm going, man, it's a long list. It'll probably be after Blade Show, and now it's kind of getting close. So I'm not sure. It's probably going to show up like the day I leave for Blade Show or something like that. Something crazy like that's going to happen. I don't know. These things kind of tend to happen that way. So let's get back to this Faulkner 5 thing. So this was the first week. We've already gone over this guy, but it is still an amazing knife. And I'm kind of going through them one by one and just enjoying looking at them real close and trying them out on different things and seeing how they are. And they're different, quite different, each one. This one's it's pretty fidgety, and the action is very drop shutty. It comes down on your thumb. It may have, I don't know, maybe probably could tighten the pivot a little bit just to keep it from doing it quite so much. And I probably need to Loctite it just to get it in the right position and be happy with it. But man, feels so good in hand. It just fills the hand. Great knife. A little crazy on the shape, which I like, definitely. But that was week one. We already talked about that guy. Last week, this is coming week. We'll talk about that guy in a minute. I don't know why knives are knives guys. I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I guess we get to decide. They don't get offended. All right. So, Chris Reeves, obviously, just a brand that's epic, that's historic. Part of that whole Trinity thing, right? In the old days, when I first started getting into it, they would talk about that Holy Trinity of knives: Hinderer, Strider, and Chris Reeves. And yeah, for the longest time, this was a grail. This is one that I was unattainable for the longest time, and I finally just decided to focus on it and use some money I had saved up and go ahead and get it. And so this is the large. I was originally looking at the Sabenza because that's like kind of the classic, CRK knife. Things that I didn't like about it. I really like these inlays, and I think the inlays, or maybe they don't have the inlays on the Sabenza. I'm not an expert at Chris Reeves for sure, but there's also the fact that he has the thumb stud on one side. Certainly, Chris Reeve knives are not your typical collectible knives, at least like budget type knives. They're not focused on the fidget. This is a very smooth washer type movement. I've never taken it apart. I never lubed it. Put some. I think you want to put grease on there. Maybe some of the what's that one from OCD for EDC, the Slickamall. I think that would probably be good to put on the washers on this, but I just haven't taken it apart. I know they talk about warranty stuff and sometimes when it's good enough, I'm just not really into taking it apart unless I'm going to change out scales or it is acting funny, getting gritty, that kind of thing. I'm not really so much, at least lately, earlier on, I took apart a lot of knives. It was fun to really kind of see how they worked on the inside. But I think now I'm kind of more of, don't really feel like I need to take it apart. It terrifies me every time I do. I'm always afraid I'm going to lose something. I'm going to strip something. I'm going to, there's all kinds of things that could happen. Anyway, back to one of the things, this one does have the thumb studs on both sides. For whatever reason, the Sabenza has just the thumb. Maybe just because of the action on it, the thumb is more of what you would tend to use. I do tend to try to do the middle finger flick, and it's a little bit hard when you look at it. This period of a week carrying every day kind of helps you to kind of notice little details that you maybe don't notice if you only carry it once in a while. So the area in here to get your finger in, and the fact that that lock bar is right there makes it kind of difficult to do that middle finger flick. On this side, you have a whole lot more room. So getting your thumb in there and flicking it out, the action's pretty smooth, and it opens up pretty well on this one. But yeah, when I try to get my finger in there, it's hard to kind of wedge it in there without putting pressure on the lock bar. So yeah, it's a hit and miss on the middle finger flick. I can get it pretty good, but still, it's not as easy as your usual very fidgety knife. And I would never describe these as being a fidgety knife. What I do like about it, though, is it's super solid, and it's probably a lot to do with the washers. And they have a special construction on their washers. I've seen these things apart, even though I haven't taken this one apart. But the washers go out really wide, so there's a big surface that there's contact between the blade and the scales, and you feel it, especially when you've been carrying it for a whole week. You feel the difference in that solidness. The lockup is very solid. They really know how to do that lock bar. One thing about this one, especially, and I kind of mentioned it when I was talking about this guy, is that it fills the hand so well. This one here is a little bit narrow for a big hand. Getting the thumb up here is a good solid way to hold it, but if you're going to kind of grip it in the hammer grip, it kind of feels like it's a little small and narrow. I was thinking about, because knives are tools, right? And, I did have this whole situation this week. I'm sorry for going off on tangents, but you're probably used to it by now if you've been here before, where our refrigerator is like starting to die. It's definitely acting up. It's like it's actually hot in certain areas and I think it's because it's trying to keep the temperature down, and it's running all the time. So it's like it's warm in certain areas, and it's kind of making it so the freezer doesn't quite work. It doesn't seem to be keeping the temperature quite. So anyway, I had a whole bunch of boxes. And the girlfriend definitely was on me about it. And I've cleaned it up before, but I have way more boxes than I need for giveaways and stuff like that. I just kind of feel like, oh man, I should save all these boxes, because you never know when you're going to send a knife away. But so I weeded down a whole bunch of boxes, and I did a bunch of cutting with this thing, and it slices it's got a hollow grind. It's not super deep, but man, it cut that cardboard, and it just went through it, and just the grip in your hand. I really like the way this all feels in my hand. It is a little bit narrow, but if you're gripping on it here and pushing into the push cuts, man, coming down this way, it just I cut down a lot of boxes, more than I normally would in a regular day, and it just felt comfortable throughout that whole thing. So I really feel like the design on this is quite good. Interesting the way the jimping's done, not just your normal jimping, because it's kind of got these alternating like 2, 3, and then 1 that is different. So it's kind of decorative, and I don't know if it serves a function, but it definitely does have good grip. The sharpening choil is very well done. I mean, it's clear that this is designed to be an excellent knife in all different ways that you need a knife to be, except it's not a fidget tool. It's a cutting tool. I don't know what the real purpose of this is, to be honest with you. I do keep it on because it's kind of part of the whole thing that they have, but I don't really see any value in it. But it doesn't bug me enough to say, I got to get rid of it. I kind of like having it on there. It's kind of part of the package for me. I love these inlays. They look good, and it really helps actually with the gripping. It does help. The clip feels good. I mean, it goes in and out of the pocket really well. I mean, it's designed to function, very much so. But it's definitely not a hot spot at all. The blade is just solid, clean. The grinds are just clean. It looks classy. It looks like a piece of art, really, because the crowning on here is awesome. I don't know what the little divot's for. I know on some fixed blades you got that divot so you can like grab a pod off the fire and pick it up and keep the handle, the wire handle on your. But I don't think that's what this is for. So I don't know if they have a function for that. Maybe it's just for looks. It's just a little feature, just a little aesthetic kind of thing. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the fact that it doesn't fidget, but that I do kind of miss it when I'm carrying this all week as my primary. I do miss the fidgeting, but you get a different feel from this that you don't get from fidgeting knives. I mean, you just don't have that same kind of feel, like that control of going in and out. It's very controlled. It's not just swinging down. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just very solid. You hear that when it flicks out. It's just very solid. It feels solid in your hand. You can feel the click. It's like it's something it's palpable. I mean, I probably didn't pronounce that correct. Palpable. I don't know. Funny word. And then I think it's got like a different thing in your head for everybody. So anyway, that was up till Sunday. So had the full week. Really great time carrying it. I've always felt like if I had only one knife to carry, I could be very happy with this one. Just because in general. But I mean, I would miss the fidgetiness. And I always did carry a second and third knife, like a slip joint and some smaller knife. And I would tend to probably have a more fidgety one with it to kind of counterbalance that. But still, I mean, this is the main one. I'm using it for most of the things that I'm doing. So, and yeah, I hope that makes sense. It's kind of in my head, it makes sense, but trying to explain to somebody else, it may be hard to kind of bring it across. So moving on from that, and I'm glad to be moving on because that means it's closer to the Blade Show. And I got the Shirogorov, and I'm already enjoying it. I'm not going to really get into some of the things that I've thought about today, but it's really kind of like got a lot of things that I'm already kind of realizing about this knife that I haven't noticed before. I mean, they are expensive knives. I think it's more expensive. It's like $600, and I think I paid less for the CRK. I think this guy is more expensive. But yeah, it is a flipper only. So that's going to be a big part of the discussion. It's kind of like the CRK doesn't have fidgety. This one fidgets great. I mean, it's so smooth, but it is a flipper only. So we'll talk about that at the end of the week and see how I survive with that. And yeah, that's it. We're moving on down the line. We'll be done with this in no time, right? Actually, it's like things are slow at work, so it's just driving me crazy. So I'm kind of like thinking a lot about knives, at least while I'm there. Normally, I'm too busy. Refrigerator thing come tomorrow, so I'm going to be home in the morning when they deliver it. So we'll get that passed, all that stress of that. But the good thing about that is that we're doing a lot of moving things around. We had to get a table out of the way so they have a clear shot to bring in the refrigerator. And that's part of the plan for setting up the other room for being like a little knife office for me, where I can do my videos and kind of be out of the way of everybody else, because I'm in the living room here. And so that's the whole plan, but I've been just kind of stalling and not doing anything about it, but it's kind of moving me a little bit closer to that. So that's exciting. So, maybe 5 years from now, the way I move is so slow. But anyway, that's exciting that that's moving closer, and it could happen within the next month or two. Obviously not before Blade Show though. I'll get that thing done first. So yeah, I blabbed on enough. You guys, thanks for everything. Thanks for being there for the giveaway. Ramsey's Silent. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know. Anyway, I got in touch with him, and it went out in the mail today. And he said he hasn't, won things before. And like I said, he was a big part of that live, helping out, being a moderator. So he's involved in the community, and I'm really happy that people like that win, and especially somebody that's not used to winning very often, if ever before. Maybe he's never. Kind of got the impression maybe he hasn't won before. So it's on its way. It's supposed to get there on Friday. If you're watching, Ramsey, I sent that track, and the track is saying Friday. So, USPS is a little bit iffy, but we'll see how it goes. We'll keep an eye on it. So hopefully it'll be there Friday. All right, guys, I'm done. I will talk to you guys, and I will see you on the next one.